Hello and welcome to Rauta's Dual Review. It's not too often you get to hear extreme metal from Iran. Technically speaking though, from the Vastland is now from Norway, but as always, we shall not let the past be forgotten. From the Vastland is here with two albums. Why so? One from the backlog, and one being a recent release from 2020. So what we have here is 2018 and 2020 versions of one and the same band, or technically a solo project, because this is one-man operated project, originally from Iran that is, and then towards Norway it has gone. One could imagine why. Is it because Norway is the land of the promised black metal dreams and all that stuff? Partially, yes. I guess that's part of the reason, at least what I got the impression from the Black Hearts documentary where Sina, the guy behind the band, was featured and interviewed. But also because Iran just happens to be one of those Muslim countries which doesn't really look with a nice eye towards extreme metal when you have topics such as Satan and the like being talked about, being sang about and all that stuff. So better going to more democratic place. And what could be better for a black metal project, that is if you want to go live with your band and do some tours and gigs, but to a land of promised black metal? Well, that's Norway. This goes with, shall be the introduction to the band. And let's now take a look at this album called Daevayasna. I have no idea how to properly pronounce this. My Persian is not really that good. Anyway, here it goes. These are both of Satanath Records releases. As you can see, one-man operated, but there are a couple of visiting artists, guest artists, if you will. And those are obviously from the Norwegian scene. The band's Metal Archives site actually lists just Sina as being the only one active in the band. But rest assured, if you take a look at the lineup information for live parts, you will find quite a few featured names there to kind of support the band in question. So this is how this album from 2018 looks like. Pretty nice overall design. And then we have the Haft Khan, which also features 7 tracks, roughly 45 minutes. The other one being 7 tracks and 47 minutes. Very similar in style. That is being melodic, fast tempo, and also the track style. It's not like the band has evolved or changed too much during 2 years, which I guess is a blessing if you just happen to be a fan of this band. Then again, if you're disappointed in one album and are expecting a change with the other release, well, not going to happen. This is very much a band that keeps pumping the water from the same well and isn't exactly running out of ideas. So basically doing the stuff that people expect to happen, and I guess what the band is all about, or this one-man project basically. Let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site while I'll tell you a little bit more. So founded in around 2010 in Iran, Tehran. And I guess it must have been hard time for a guy like Sina to just do his music right there, you know, being controlled or supervised by the police, and, you know, having constantly been on the verge of going it quits because, hey, there's prison time, because Allah isn't exactly fan of black metal, or at least the mortal ones say the story. Now, 6 albums later, it is what we have here from the Vastland. That is, as you can see, the band has been pretty active throughout the years. 10 years of existence and 6 albums plus this EP from 2015 called Black Hearts. I don't think it's a coincidence to have the documentary featuring Sina, among other guys from various parts of the world, with the same name. So there is this connection. Now about the documentary, I must mention, while the idea of people being blackpackers, that is metalheads traveling to Norway just to see famous churches and places like Helvetes or by Euronymous and stuff like that. The documentary is like a actually bad kind of like traveling commercial for Norway. Like, hey, come to Norway, we have fish and black metal and all these places. It's a very interesting documentary, but luckily enough it features some interesting people, including Sina, that play black metal beyond the borders of Norway. Anyway, that's about the documentary, and let's talk about these albums. So as mentioned, both of these albums are 7 tracks and roughly 45-47 minutes. So the output is pretty much the same, and to be honest, the previous albums, which was the first from the Vastland albums I heard, was this Camrush album 2016. Well, once again, pretty much the same idea. 7 tracks, 42 minutes. There's something magical going on with 7 tracks and 40 something, but I don't know what. Maybe one day I will do an interview and talk about it. Anyway, the thing here is, this is something that you probably heard a million times. It's mostly fast tempo, there are atmospheric parts to kind of create this diversity, and it's melodic. And when we're talking about melodic black metal doing kind of a fast tempo part, there are lots of bands which are coming to your mind. For me, basically, this mostly reminds me of Marduk, especially with the more aggressive tracks. Some are more about Dark Funeral with this kind of a sinister and dark feeling, but still being fast tempo and all. So very, very kind of a Nordic feeling all the way through. And the same could be said about production. It's not exactly raw, but it's something like Century Media, Nuclear Blast, very hi-fi and polished and all that stuff. It's actually right where in the middle. So very much a kind of avoiding the extremities of extreme metal. Not the raw, not the violence type, but not too kind of a soft with female parts or uber amount of keyboards, but very much in the middle of the road. So kind of easy to approach, easy to like, but, and there is always a but, in my opinion, neither of these releases are really A-class killer material. While they are both really easy to digest and listen to, and just, you know, kind of be happy about it. I mean, the albums are diverse enough to justify their whole existence and the length and all that stuff. Nothing really sticks too much. And while that is not a big flaw, obviously, it's kind of a point out that this is still kind of a work in progress towards being one of the bands that are there to kind of conquer the world and change it with its unique style. Because factually, actually, there is nothing really unique with the music. But that is not to say these are not nice albums, because in my opinion these are quite decent ones. They are totally something that you would give a spin or two without getting bored, without getting annoyed or anything like that. Very easy to get into, and just some parts are better than the rest. And some of the better parts, in my opinion, include those faster and more aggressive parts, which then again are kind of a reminiscent of Marduk material. So, in my opinion, from the Vastland is very, very much worth checking out. While it's not the new mind-blowing band in the scene, it's definitely interesting. And what I really like is that the band is doing a little bit a different approach to, you know, the music with its kind of lyrics and topics, which are here listed as the mythology of Persia and Mesopotamia and Zoroastrianism. And these are actually related to Persian history, which then again is the place where Iran once again kind of came up. So Persian history and Persian black metal now done in Norway. I could say you could do a lot of worse with that. So where to start? Which one is the best? Now this is a really, really tricky combination or a question, because to be honest, these are so much in par with each other that I find very, very hard to answer the question. Rather, I would say split the cigar and give both the other half, because they are very much in the same level in my opinion. So it doesn't really matter which one you go with first, because you're not going to be disappointed with the second one. That is, if you just happen to like the first one. And if you don't like the first one, well, the second one isn't going to change your mind. With these words, take a look at the band's Bandcamp site. You will have it in the description box, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care, my friends, and see you soon with more reviews coming away.